land masses 320 million years ago were dominated by giant scorpions and myriapods. They roamed freely, striking fear into other creatures. But the true danger lurked in the deep ocean. In those dark waters lived a terrifying creature, Rhizodus. If you're as fascinated by these ancient giants as we are, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive into prehistoric wonders. And if you enjoyed learning about these incredible creatures, give us a like. We'd love to hear what other prehistoric topics you're curious about for future videos. Let us know in the comments below. Rhizodus, belonging to the family Rhizodontidae, was a carnivorous sarcopterygian, lobe-finned fish. They dominated freshwater rivers and lakes for over 30 million years, a nightmare for other organisms. Adult Rhizodus were enormous, reaching 6 to 7 meters in length and weighing 2 to 3 tons, roughly the weight of a small car. Don't assume they were slow due to their size. In fact, they were astonishingly fast. This was thanks to their slender, streamlined bodies, which tapered from front to back, minimizing resistance when swimming. Their fins and powerful tail worked in concert, not only stabilizing their bodies, but also providing powerful propulsion, allowing them to move independently in water. Rhizodus were incredibly fierce predators. Their main weapons were two slightly curved, 25-centimeter-long front teeth in their lower jaw. Like sharp daggers, these were perfect for seizing and biting prey. Behind these two large teeth were rows of smaller teeth, 2 to 6 centimeters long, which, despite their size, played a crucial role in auxiliary fixation of prey during hunting. Once they spotted large fish, amphibians, or even early shark prototypes, Rhizodus would strike quickly, biting down hard with their large teeth, then dragging their prey to the bottom of the water or into underwater caves to feast slowly. With the powerful burst of speed afforded by their streamlined bodies, they could even rush ashore to snatch prey, truly earning the title of super killer of the water. Long before Rhizodus appeared, in the Devonian period, the ocean had an undisputed overlord, Dunkleosteus. The appearance of Dunkleosteus was the embodiment of terror. It was colossal, with a head and neck alone exceeding 1 meter, and adult individuals reached 6 to 5 meters in total length and weighed at least 1 ton. Its body was strong and powerful, and its huge head was covered in thick, bony plates, like solid armor, making it virtually unrivaled in the ocean. Although Dunkleosteus had a streamlined body, its small fins limited its speed, preventing high-speed pursuit. It didn't need speed to hunt. Instead, it relied on a single explosive lunge, followed by devastating killing techniques. It could open its mouth in 20 milliseconds, creating a powerful suction, and suck prey into its mouth within 50 to 60 milliseconds, then rapidly close its jaws. Its mouth had no ordinary teeth. Instead, it had bony plates with sharp edges and tusk-like protrusions. These plates could generate a biting force of 5 megapascals, equivalent to a short-faced bear's bite force, easily crushing and swallowing anything it caught. Its ferocity was awe-inspiring. In the prehistoric ocean, Orthicone was a unique creature. Orthicone lived approximately 325 million years ago and belonged to the cephalopods. Its appearance was very peculiar. Its shell was nearly 2 meters long, with multiple chambers connected by a siphuncle, allowing it to regulate buoyancy. The anterior end of Orthicone had large eyes, a powerful beak, and long tentacles. Although it looked like a giant tube with tentacles, it was relatively docile. It preferred to lurk on the seabed, ambushing small fish and invertebrates, using its powerful beak to crush the shells of trilobites for food. Despite its large size, Orthicone was vulnerable to faster predators, such as giant armored fish. In contrast, its ancestor, Endocarus, was much more powerful, and Endocarus lived approximately 450 million years ago in the Ordovician period and was much larger, faster, and more dangerous than Orthicone. Endocarus's shell could reach up to 8 meters in length, nearly 3 times that of Orthicone. Its shell was composed of gas-filled chambers used to control depth and buoyancy. Endoceras also had many tentacles at its anterior end, but unlike orthocone, it was a much faster predator. Its powerful beak could easily pierce prey, primarily hunting trilobites and giant eurypterids. Giant eurypterids were the largest arthropods in history, reaching up to 2.5 meters in length, but even they often became prey to the mighty Endoceras. With its immense size and agility, Endoceras became one of the most dangerous predators in the Ordovician Ocean, dominating those waters for a long time. From the Jurassic to the Middle Jurassic, in the oceans that once washed the coasts of modern Europe and Asia, a terrifying creature appeared: the giant squid. The giant squid belonged to the same subclass as modern squid, but had significant differences. Its body was not supported by long tentacles. Instead, an internal skeleton formed a rigid cone, providing both robustness and a hydrodynamic shape. The giant squid was astonishingly large, with the largest individuals reaching up to 3 meters, making it the largest coleoid animal in history. The giant squid is one of the largest coleoid animals. If it existed today, it would rank 4th among the largest cephalopods. For many marine organisms, encountering a giant squid meant a deadly threat. Its tentacles were covered with hundreds of sharp hooks used to catch fish and small marine animals. Its powerful beak could inflict excruciating bites, making it a formidable predator. Tens of millions of years later, during the early Cretaceous, the western interior seaway became an evolutionary hotbed for giant creatures. Here lived Tusoteuthis, which belonged to the Encodoteuthidea family. Tusoteuthis was initially thought to be related to the giant squid and later to vampire squid. However, modern research suggests it is more closely related to octopuses. Tusoteuthis were active predators, preying on fish, other cephalopods, and possibly even marine reptiles. However, they were also frequently prey for large predators, such as carnivorous fish and mosasaurs. A fossilized Simolictus fish was found with Tusoteuthis internal skeletons in its esophagus, suggesting the fish may have choked to death while trying to swallow Tusoteuthis. The size of Tusoteuthis has been controversial. Early estimates suggested it could reach 11 meters, but modern research indicates its length probably did not exceed 3 meters. Its close relative, Boncuranus, had similar hunting strategies and size, also around 3 meters long. They were among the largest mollusks of their time, but not the largest ancient cephalopods. The true apex predator was Camarasaurus. Camarasaurus was the apex predator of the Ordovician, intimidating marine life for 30 million years simply by its immense size. According to modern estimates, the largest individuals had shells up to 11 meters long. Since the shell accounted for 90% of the total body length, scientists infer that the overall length of Camarasaurus could have reached 12 meters, making it the largest predator of its time. Camarasaurus belonged to the class Cephalopoda, with long tentacles extending from its head and muscles, similar to squid, used to grasp and control prey. Its mouth contained a powerful beaked jaw, capable of biting through the shells of other orthoconic nautiloids and even the exoskeletons of ancient sea crabs. Modern cephalopods use a radula to extract soft tissue from the shells of prey, but whether Camarasaurus had this adaptation is unknown. Besides giant sea crabs and other mollusks, it likely also preyed on early jawless fish. In popular culture, Camarasaurus is often depicted with poor eyesight, but this is mere speculation, since no fossil eyes have been discovered. Since most cephalopods are highly visual predators, some even possessing better vision than vertebrates, it is unlikely that Camarasaurus was an exception. Like many mollusks, it probably had color vision and the ability to adapt to low-light environments, making it a fearsome hunter in the ancient ocean. During the late Cretaceous period, paleontologists discovered 2 fossil beaks in modern-day Japan. These were much larger than the beaks of Archaeoteuthis ducks, which reaches 10 to 14 meters in length, and also larger than the beaks of giant squid, which can reach up to 20 meters. Researchers concluded that these beaks belonged to previously unknown species of prehistoric giant squid, naming them Habrokinessa and Isoteuthis. Based on the size of their beaks, these creatures may have even surpassed the largest modern cephalopods, potentially exceeding 20 meters in length. And they truly existed in the prehistoric ocean. They would likely resemble the colossal octopus-like monsters seen in science fiction films. However, researchers remain cautious, avoiding definitive conclusions, as the only evidence for these creatures are their beaks. While the beaks clearly indicate a gigantic body size for their owners, without more fossil remains, we can only speculate about their true size. In the early Cretaceous period, the ocean was home to an incredibly large and fierce predator, Kronosaurus, one of the largest pliosaurs in history. The skull of the largest Kronosaurus individuals could reach 2 meters in length, meaning it could easily swallow prey larger than a human. Its total body length reached 10 meters, and its astonishing weight could reach 11 tons, several thousand pounds heavier than a modern killer whale. Despite its immense size, Kronosaurus was very agile and surprisingly fast. Its slender head and short neck provided excellent flexibility, while its compact, streamlined body and 4 powerful paddle-like limbs allowed it to maneuver skillfully when pursuing prey. Additionally, it had a relatively short but powerful tail. Kronosaurus was not picky and would likely devour anything in its path, from fish and mollusks to large marine reptiles. Depending on the size of the prey, Kronosaurus employed 2 different hunting techniques. For smaller prey that could fit entirely into its mouth, it would crush, tear, and swallow them whole. Its tooth structure supports this theory. Unlike most other pliosaurs, Kronosaurus teeth lacked giant cusps and the 3 facets common in its family, but they were still powerful, with some teeth reaching 30 centimeters in total length and 10 centimeters at the crown, shaped similar to crocodile teeth. If Kronosaurus attacked larger prey, it might have adopted hunting methods similar to modern crocodiles, using its powerful jaws to seize the prey, biting down hard, and then performing violent twisting motions to tear off large chunks of flesh. For most marine creatures, seeing a Kronosaurus on the horizon likely meant certain death. More than 100 million years before Kronosaurus appeared, during the Triassic period, in the waters of what is now Nevada and Germany, lived a giant reptile, Shastasaurus. Shastasaurus had a vertical tail fin, a massive head, and slender shoulders. Its body was slender, with a long, flexible tail accounting for almost half of its total length. Its limbs had evolved into flippers, primarily used for stability, while movement in the water was achieved through powerful undulating motions. This giant marine, reaching 6 to 10 meters in length, was one of the largest creatures of the Triassic period. Despite its astonishing size, it did not pose a serious threat to other marine reptiles. The teeth lining its mouth were too small to kill or even properly grasp and bite large prey. Adult Shastasaurus likely spent most of their time hunting in the deep sea, only entering shallower areas for breeding or seasonal foraging. But even without powerful jaws and long teeth, this giant creature probably had some natural enemies that could pose a serious threat to it. During the same period, in the waters of what is now the United States, there was another ichthyosaur species, Postosuchus. Postosuchus was one of the largest carnivorous ichthyosaurs, at least 9 meters long. Unlike Shastasaurus, it had a massive skull, almost twice as large compared to its body. Its powerful flattened teeth had 2 cutting edges and were up to 12 centimeters in length, indicating its ability to hunt large prey. This giant creature was one of the earliest marine predators capable of hunting prey comparable to its own size. Scientists believe it played a similar ecological role to modern killer whales, acting as a keystone predator that regulated marine life populations and influenced the entire food chain. Like killer whales, Postosuchus could hunt a variety of prey, including other large predators, making it an apex predator in its ecosystem. In the Cretaceous oceans 80 million years ago, there were 2 very unique marine reptiles, Elasmosaurus and Albertnectus. Elasmosaurus belonged to the family Elasmosauridae, and its appearance was quite peculiar. If you were in the Cretaceous ocean at that time and encountered an Elasmosaurus, the first thing that would catch your eye would undoubtedly be its head, extending from its body. Its body was about 12 meters long, but almost half of that length was its extremely long neck.
Elasmosaurus had a strong body, but its primary hunting tool was this long neck. With this unique advantage, it could dash into schools of fish with lightning speed, catching prey by surprise. One theory suggests that elasmosaurids, like Elasmosaurus, would ambush prey from below, hiding their huge bodies in the dark depths, revealing only their small heads. This hunting method made their attacks harder to detect, greatly increasing their chances of success. Elasmosaurus had the slender, pointed teeth characteristic of its kind. When its jaws closed, the teeth interlocked tightly, leaving no escape for prey. However, these teeth were only suitable for grasping and biting prey, completely unsuitable for tearing or chewing food, so it could only swallow its prey whole. Alberchinectes also belonged to the family Elasmosauridae and had the longest neck among all vertebrates. Its cervical vertebrae consisted of 76 bones, reaching about 7 meters in length, while its total body length, excluding the skull, was about 11 meters. Including the skull, the overall size of Alberchinectes is estimated to be close to 12 meters. With its incredibly long neck, it also had a unique way of life in the ocean. Although we know little about its hunting details, it is imaginable that its long neck played a significant role in its foraging process. In the Cretaceous oceans, the mosasaur family was renowned, with Prognathodon and Mosasaurus hoffmanni being particularly prominent. Prognathodon was one of the most common and largest species of mosasaur, reaching up to 14 meters in length and weighing around 9 tons. Don't be fooled by its immense size. It was a very fast and agile predator, capable of hunting confidently in the dark and easily swallowing other large predators. Its flexible, streamlined body allowed it to reach high speeds, making it extremely difficult for prey to escape. Its massive tail accounted for almost half of its entire body length, enabling it to turn easily when pursuing prey. With a lightweight, kinetic skull, this giant creature could swallow prey several times its own size. In the relatively smaller Prognathodon fossils, huge Mosasaurus teeth, a fish up to 10 meters long, and remains of Platycarpus have been found. This was a marine lizard belonging to the mosasaur family about 4 meters long. This indicates that Prognathodon was not picky, with small animals, other large predators, and even other mosasaurs in its diet. Its skull averaged 1.2 to 1.5 meters in length, allowing it to bite off large chunks of prey or swallow them whole, similar to modern Komodo dragons. The teeth of Prognathodon were very strong, flattened on the inside and rounded on the outside, probably for gripping slippery and agile marine creatures. If the largest Prognathodon swam with today's great white sharks, it would certainly make the great white shark very nervous, as Prognathodon was more than 3 times the length and 8 times the weight of a great white shark, and its mouth was over 1.5 meters long, almost half the entire length of a great white shark. It could easily bite a great white shark in half. Mosasaurus hoffmanni is a strong contender for the title of the largest marine reptile in Earth's history. A lower jaw found in the Penza region of Russia was 1.7 meters long, and other lower jaw fragments suggest a length of about 2 meters. In any case, this mosasaur was the largest marine predator of its time, likely larger than any other marine predator during the Cretaceous. Mosasaurus hoffmanni may have weighed between 16 and 30 tons. If estimated at its maximum size and weight, it would be the largest carnivorous marine reptile among super predators. Compared to a great white shark, this monster was 4 times its length and over 20 times its weight. Its skull stood out among other mosasaurs for its immense power, with a relatively weaker lower jaw, likely used for back-and-forth movements to tear meat from prey. Its deeply rooted teeth aided in this process. The tooth crowns were strong, slightly flattened on the sides, with sharp cutting edges for crushing and cutting meat. Its lower jaw was as long as an average person's height, allowing it not only to tear prey, but also to swallow huge chunks of meat, or even swallow prey whole. Mosasaurus hoffmanni hunted by sight. Its large eye sockets allowed it to capture more light, providing a wider field of vision.
Although its binocular vision was weak, with a field of view of only 29 degrees, making it unable to accurately estimate the distance to prey, this did not hinder its hunting. It possessed a slender, streamlined body, functional flippers, and a well-developed shark-like fin at the end of its tail, allowing it to reach high speeds and exhibit excellent maneuverability. Its prey included the largest marine creatures, from giant fish, including sharks, to huge sea turtles and even other mosasaurs. Like Prognathodon, Mosasaurus hoffmanni also frequently engaged in deadly battles with other mosasaurs, with the victor consuming the loser. It could also ambush prey in the deep sea and was capable of long-distance pursuit, with excellent endurance and respectable speed. In the waters of the Cretaceous Western Interior Seaway lived an extremely powerful predator, Deinosuchus. Deinosuchus inhabited the coastlines of most of the outer boundaries of the Western Interior Seaway, making it the second largest predator in these waters, second only to mosasaurs. Its appearance was very similar to modern crocodiles and alligators. Evolution seemed to have created a perfect predator and did not change it for tens of millions of years. Deinosuchus lived on both sides of the Western Interior Seaway, forming two populations, a western population and an eastern population. It likely thrived in both freshwater and saltwater environments. Some paleontologists believe these two populations belong to the same species, while others divide them into two species. Deinosuchus riograndensis living on the west coast and Deinosuchus hatchery on the east coast. The size of this crocodilian was truly astonishing. The eastern Deinosuchus averaged about 9 meters in length and weighed just over 2 tons, larger than today's largest crocodiles. Their western counterparts, Deinosuchus riograndensis, could reach 12 meters in length and weigh over 8 tons. For reference, today's largest living crocodile is about 5 meters long and weighs about 1 ton. So Deinosuchus was about 2.5 times its length and over 7 times its weight. Deinosuchus was a true giant, preying on both herbivorous and carnivorous dinosaurs of its time. Its body was covered with 4 rows of unusually strong, extraordinarily large bony osteoderms, like armor, which allowed it to resist other large and dangerous predators unscathed. It was extremely difficult to penetrate these bony osteoderms. Its snout was similar to that of modern Mississippi alligators or Cuban crocodiles, wide and lined with huge, robust teeth. Deeper in its mouth, its teeth were blunt and short, perfect for crushing and breaking dinosaur bones. Its strong legs were sufficient to support its massive body, making Deinosuchus quite comfortable on land. But this beast's most lethal weapon was its extremely powerful jaws. The bite force of large individuals was 10 times stronger than that of Tyrannosaurus rex. Some studies estimate Deinosuchus's bite force could reach 100,000 newtons, equivalent to 22,000 pounds of pressure. Such immense force could easily crush a car or a boulder. It preyed on not only dinosaurs, large fish, and sea turtles. The shells of sea turtles were no problem for its jaws. Although ancient giant turtles were still too large for the relatively smaller eastern Deinosuchus to handle, they would prey more on fish, sea turtles, and medium-sized coastal prey. Their prehistoric western counterparts, however, preferred large prey, with larger individuals capable of fearlessly seizing and crushing large dinosaurs. Deinosuchus would even not hesitate to attack and eat large tyrannosaurids like Gorgosaurus and Daspletosaurus. These dinosaurs were the apex predators among dinosaurs at the time. For example, Gorgosaurus could reach 8 to 9 meters in length. One can only imagine what an epic battle would ensue when these two predators met on the coast of the Western Interior Seaway. Deinosuchus dominated the coasts and coastal areas, striking fear into any creature that entered its attack range. In the waters of the Cretaceous Western Interior Seaway lived 2 sharks with distinct characteristics, Tuchedus and Cretosirena. Tuchedus was roughly the size of a tiger shark, about 10 meters long. However, it was one of the least aggressive sharks inhabiting those waters. By studying the teeth of this creature, paleontologists concluded that Tuchedus had a rather peculiar and somewhat unusual diet. Its mouth contained numerous flattened, cusped, crushing teeth. These teeth formed crushing plates. The largest plates could be up to 53 centimeters long and 46 centimeters wide. The total number of teeth could reach 550, with 220 in the lower jaw and 260 in the upper jaw. This indicates that Tuchedus belonged to the Durophagous, shell-crushing sharks. Its diet included creatures with shells, armor, or exoskeletons. The shape of these teeth varied from T-shaped to rectangular to round. The surface of the tooth crowns had small ridges, increasing biting force and helping the shark grasp the smooth shells of mollusks. This fish was very common, with as many as 26 species of Tychidus known today. This was due to the abundance of shelled and shellless mollusks at the time and ample food in the ocean. Tychidus thrived, and during the late Cretaceous, their traces could be found in almost every ocean. Cretoxorina was quite different from Tychidus. It belonged to the extinct Cretaceous shark genus Cretoxorina from the completely extinct family, Cretoxorinidae. It was a truly ferocious predator, though it was not averse to scavenging. Its teeth were sharp and serrated, aiding in grasping and biting prey. Its body was streamlined, allowing it to glide to the water. It was a very fast and efficient swimmer. It is also believed that the skin of Cretoxorina was covered with scales or plates, which provided both protection and reduced water resistance during swimming. Compared to Tychidus, its size was not as large. Cretoxorina typically grew to 5 meters long. When food was scarce, these sharks often ventured into coastal areas, risking entering Deinosuchus's territory along the coast. They would feed on the remains of Tychidus. Furthermore, Cretoxorina was one of the few underwater creatures capable of preying on pteranodon, large flying reptiles that could reach 7 meters in wingspan. This indicates that Cretoxorina had excellent vision and could track pteranodon as they prepared to dive into the water to fish. Plesiosauria was a group of extinct reptiles that lived from the Triassic to the Cretaceous periods. They were famous for their long necks. Representative members include Plesiosaurus, Mosasaurus, and Elasmosaurus. Plesiosaurus was average in size among Plesiosaurus, around 8 meters long and weighing about 2 tons. Mosasaurus exceeded 8 meters in length, and Elasmosaurus was one of the largest representatives of Plesiosaurus. Its neck alone was 7 meters long, and the entire reptile could reach 10 meters in length. Elasmosaurus is quite famous. It is the main inspiration for the myths and legends surrounding the Loch Ness Monster. Its long neck extended from the water, with its huge body lurking underwater. This is exactly what Elasmosaurus looked like 80 million years ago. The primary source of food for these creatures was fish and marine invertebrates, such as squid exceeding 9 meters in length and weighing at least 8 tons. Their bodies were compact and streamlined, with paddle-like limbs, a short tail, and a relatively small head. However, don't assume they were very active. Due to their slender necks and small mouths, these reptiles could only prey on smaller creatures in the western interior seaway. They cleverly used their exceptionally long necks for strategic deception. Moving slowly, they would first bring their head close to the fish. Their huge bodies, meanwhile, would be hidden at least 6 meters behind. The fish might not perceive the danger or mistake the reptile's head for another fish. As a result, they would end up in its stomach. In the prehistoric ocean, there was also a terrifying bony fish, Xiphactinus. Xiphactinus was one of the largest bony fish to ever exist on Earth, ranging from 4 to 6 meters in length. It is often described as a ferocious predator, and gluttonous would also be an apt description. It would eat anything it could bite, including small fish, sea turtles, plesiosaurs, and even juvenile mosasaurs. Given the opportunity, it likely would also scavenge. The body of Xiphactinus was long and slender like a fish, which probably allowed it to reach astonishing speeds when pursuing prey. Some estimates suggest its top speed approached 60 kilometers per hour. Given its size, many also suspect that Xiphactinus could leap out of the water like modern dolphins and might even prey on plesiosaurs near the surface.
The overall appearance of this fish was similar to modern large-eyed tarpon, but with unusually strong, almost bulldog-like jaws, earning Xiphactinus the nickname bulldog fish. The mouths of these fish were lined with sharp, pointed teeth, and their fins were narrow and long, with a spine covered by a hairy membrane on the leading edge of their pectoral fins, up to 1 meter in length. In short, it was a versatile killing machine that struck fear into many underwater creatures. Several Xiphactinus skeletons have been found with undigested prey in their stomachs. The most astonishing discovery was a 4-meter-long Xiphactinus with a complete 2-meter-long Gillicus fish in its stomach. It is likely that this Xiphactinus died shortly after swallowing such a large prey. These giant creatures were widespread throughout the western interior seaway, making these waters even more fearsome and dangerous. In this ancient ocean, from fierce Rhizodus to colossal mosasaurs, from mysterious cephalopods to terrifying Xiphactinus, each creature had a unique way of life and astonishing characteristics.